Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today here I have my money fronts guide for you guys. I'm sorry this took a few days, but I wanted to make sure that everything was completed on here. And I will basically be talking about the 4 new businesses. Car wash, Higgins Helitours, Smoke on the Water, and also that pharmaceutical business that's near Los Santos Customs, the north part of the city. But anyways, about this, let's start off here. So you're going to need to buy the car wash at the start. And the car wash is basically your main hub, and you will be basically connecting Higgins Helitours and also Smoke in the Water. It is advisable to buy all 3 businesses. It is worth it. Some people are saying it's not worth it. I do think that it is worth it, and I think you will make your money back relatively quickly. You'll be basically spending close to around $3 million for the 3 businesses in total. It's not that much, and there's no upgrades. You only basically pay $10,000 for the paint skins inside the business if you want to do that. Now about this, I'm going to start off here talking with the safe. The safe is one of the new ways to make money, and the safe will update every in-game day or every 48 minutes. So every 48 minutes, the safe will update. Now, here's the thing. What this basically does is it cleans a lot of dirty money from your other businesses. And even if you are not doing these businesses, even if you don't have supplies in these businesses, it will make you money from the safe. And it's about, I think, $32,000 is max on it. And I'll talk about that in a moment here, but it's advisable to have all these businesses, all of them. Even if you don't ever use a lot of these businesses, they will actually contribute here and make you a little bit more money. Now, these first 2 businesses here at the top, you guys notice small cargo warehouse, $750. Medium cargo warehouse, $1250. I don't know what Rockstar was thinking when they did this right here, and I've seen a lot of comments. A lot of you guys commented on my channel asking me to talk about this specifically, and they were asking me if there's anything that they can do about this if they own 5 large warehouses. Here's the bad news. If you own 5 large warehouses, unfortunately, there's nothing that you can do. You cannot have this small warehouse and medium warehouse income coming into you. You cannot downgrade from 5 large warehouses. So if I own 5 large warehouses, you cannot downgrade from that. Once that you have 5 large warehouses, you can't get those, the small one and the medium one. But Rockstar should change this where they do it that it counts on the other large warehouses. That will give you more money. So I don't know what they were thinking here. So unless you make a new character, if you have 5 large warehouses, you cannot downgrade and you cannot get these other the income from these 2. But it's not that big of a deal. It would just basically be an extra $2,000 in total a day. But anyways, take a look at this. Special cargo warehouse, for example, gives you $1,500. Vehicle warehouse, $1,500 a day. Counterfeit cash, $1,250 a day. Coke, $1,500. Document forgery, $1,000. Meth lab, $1,250. Weed farm, $1,000. Bunker, $1,500. Hangar, $1,500. Nightclub, $1,500. Arcade, $1,500. Auto shop, $1,500. Agency, $1,750. Acid lab, $1,250. Salvage yard, $1,500. Bail office, $1,500. Garment factory, $1,750. Mackenzie field hangar, $1,500. Car wash, $1,500. Smoke on the Water, $1,500. And Higgins Helitours, $1,500. Now about these 3 here, when you first buy these businesses, you will be getting $750 per in-game day from them. And I'll have this on the screen right now. If you complete 15 money laundering missions from each business, this will increase from $750 per in-game day to $1,500. So you need to complete 15 money laundering missions for the car wash, 15 money laundering missions for Smoke on the Water, and 15 money laundering missions for Higgins Helitours. For Smoke on the Water, I completed 10 money laundering missions and I got the 1,500. So I don't know if that's a glitch, but it's supposed to be it is supposed to be 15 money laundering missions, and it will increase at $1,500. Now here's another tip about this. Here is the safe will increase your heat every day by 8%. So every day 8% heat will be increased when it gets deposited, and this will increase for all of your businesses. So all 3 of them, car wash, Higgins Helitours, and Smoke on the Water, will be increased by 8% every 48 minutes when the safe is filling up. If the safe is at max, if it's at $100,000, you will not be getting any more money, but on top of that, you will not be getting that extra 8% heat. So if you want to keep the heat from going every 8%, you can have the safe at $100,000, but I don't think that that's worth it. A lot of these missions, these cooldown missions, the legal work, it's pretty easy. I'm going to be talking about heat in my next section, guys. But also another thing is, and I'm going to have another clip right here, make sure that you get the money in the safe before it reaches $100,000. Because if you have your money at like close to $90,000 or $80,000, and then you get an extra $30,000, what's basically going to happen is you're going to lose that extra money. So make sure that you always collect your safe money before it reaches $100,000, because you're going to lose that extra money, whatever it goes over it. Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about is heat exactly, how it works and how you can bring it down. And we're also going to talk about that annoying glitch. Don't worry, I'm probably going to have some people asking me about the glitch, but I'm going to tell you guys how to basically fix it and get around it. So heat is this new system introduced in this DLC, and you have 3 separate heat bars. You have a heat bar for Higgins Helitours, you have a heat bar for the car wash, and you also have a heat bar for smoke on the water. I'll have some numbers on the screen right here. But again, as long as the safe is generating money, if it's full, you're not going to get 8% every 48 minutes. But if the safe is generating money, then you are going to get 8% every 48 minutes of heat. And doing a money laundering mission, this is where you're going to be making most of your money. It is $35,000 per each money laundering mission. Now, I know some people are saying that a car wash is better, it's paying you $70,000, but that's only because this week it's double money from the car wash. This is what the Rockstar Newswire says. So after this week, it's going to go down to $35,000 for the car wash as well. So money laundering missions, they pay you $35,000 and they give you 10% of heat for that specific business. So if I do a money laundering mission for Higgins Helitours will get 10% more heat, but smoke on the water and car wash won't. So it's for that specific business. But the safe will give you 8% of heat for each business every 48 minutes. Now, about the heat, when heat reaches max, you're not going to get raided. Don't panic about that. There's no such thing as raids in this DLC. Thank God we don't have to deal with that, right? What's going to happen is if you get max heat, it's going to lock you out from doing money laundering missions. You cannot do any more money laundering missions. You cannot do any Mr. Faber's work. Mr. Faber's work, I think it also gives you 10% of heat every single time you do one. Mr. Faber's work, I'm not really going to cover here because Mr. Faber's work, that is the story for this DLC. It's not tied to the business. All it basically does is gives you a little bit more heat, but it's separate missions, basically kind of like contact mission storyline. I made a video on the Mr. Faber missions. I will link that at the end, and I might maybe do a separate video, quick one, talking about how to do the bonus objectives for that, but this video I want to focus specifically on just the business itself. So money laundering and legal work. Now we have the legal work. The legal work is whatever's at the very top. So whatever the top mission option is. For the car wash, it would basically be picking up a customer's car, washing it. For Higgins Helitours, it would be basically giving a bunch of tourists a guide around San Andreas. And for smoke on the water, it will basically be delivering weed to different customers' houses. Once you complete these 3 legal works, it will drop the heat bar down to 0. And that's for that specific one. So even if you have 100% of heat at the car wash, if you do a car wash mission, it will bring your heat down to 0. You should not do these missions until you have 100% heat bar, because one mission will bring the heat bar all the way down. So there's not really a point in doing one of those legal works. If your heat bar is at like 25%, 50%, you really shouldn't do it. The one thing that you should avoid is do not let all 3 of your businesses get to max heat. Because if you let all 3 of your businesses get to max heat, there's a very strong chance that you might actually have this glitch. And you can also check your heat bar by going into your phone and calling RAF. You can also start the works from there. You can start the legal work and you can start the money laundering work. If you have your heat stuck at 100%, the only way to fix that is to close your application. Finding new sessions is not going to fix it. It's not. I tried going to multiple sessions. The only way to fix that is you have to completely close your game and restart your game and then do another one of the legal works. And when you do another one of the legal works, then at that point, heat will go down to 0%. And on top of this, if you have, for example, your heat at like 98%, you can still do a money laundering mission. Even though money laundering is at 10%, it'll still work. So you'll do another one. So really, you should not do one of the legal works. You should not bring down your heat until the business is at 100%. When the business heat is at 100%, that's when you should do a legal work. I have a guide that I will link at the end on the glitch. So if you have that glitch, you basically need to close your application, but that video explains a little bit more about that glitch. But basically, just avoid all 3 of your businesses getting 100% heat. It should be fine if it's one of them, but avoid all 3 of them because then you can get that really annoying glitch. Again, to fix it, all you need to do is just restart your app and then do one of the legal works. But do the legal works only when one of your businesses gets to 100%. You can call RAF to check that, and that'll bring it down, because there's really no purpose in doing the legal work unless you are at max heat. It doesn't pay well. I know a lot of people have complained about the pay on these legal works, but they're not supposed to pay well. The purpose of the legal work is basically just to disguise your business. The real money comes from the money laundering missions. So anyways, let's start talking about the car wash business first here. Okay, so first up, let's talk about the car wash. Car wash, again, is the most important business. It links the other businesses, Higgins Helitours, and links also the smoke on the water business. And whenever you do money laundering missions, it always goes to the car wash. So if you do it for Higgins or smoke on the water, it will go back to the car wash. It'll be $35,000 per each mission. $70,000 for car wash right now because it's doubled, but about $30,000 for each money laundering mission. And the most that you can get would be $1 million. Once it gets to $1 million, you will not be getting any more extra money there. So make sure you go pick it up there. I know most people will probably pick it up before it reaches to $1 million, but I wanted to check to see what the max amount on there would be. And you can call Raph, and he'll tell you exactly how much is in the car wash. Right now, I have about $350,000. And these money laundering missions, these take about 10 minutes to deliver. And I've had it deliver once in 8 minutes. I put on a stopwatch and it came in 8 minutes. Another time I've had it come in 10 minutes. So I would say between 8 to 10 minutes, the money will be delivered there at your business. Make sure to pick it up regularly whenever you get the chance. You don't have to do it after each mission, but do it after every couple missions. Now, the worst mission that you can get for the car wash is the stockade mission with Recover the Cash. There is another mission that's also called Recover the Cash, but it involves you actually opening up a container and stealing a car. Make sure to pay attention to what Raph says. If Raph says you're getting the stockade, that is the worst mission that you can get. Now, if you get this location right here specifically, you see go to Harmony, what I would advise you to do is to go to your preferences and set your location as the car wash, because you can just spawn there and just find new session. There's no cooldown on these money laundering missions, so you just, if you don't want to feel like doing that mission, you can just find a new session, spawn in the car wash place, and then just start the next mission from the laptop, or go outside and call Raph and start it up there. But if you do decide to do this mission, this is the longest mission. It'll take you basically 6, 7, 8 minutes possibly complete, depending on where you started it from. So here's what you do in the mission. In the mission, you go over to a place, either to Harmony or you go to Terminal. You kill a bunch of armored truck guards, you take their outfit and you take the armored truck. Then you have to drive up to 3 Fleesa banks. Now, once you're at the Fleesa bank, you basically just go in the back in 2 of them and you pick up the suitcase. Third one, you meet the manager outside and get it from him. After you pick up the first suitcase of money, make sure that you put the next bank on your map. Mark it. Put a marker on the next bank location. The reason you want to put a marker on the next bank location is because 30 seconds into the drive to the second bank, you will have a gang that will spawn, and the other banks will now disappear from your map. Now, either kill this gang or lose them. What I do to save time is I'll just keep driving towards the second bank with that marker on my map, and I'll shoot the people that are chasing me, the gangs that's chasing me along the way, and I just drive there and I save time. You have 10 minutes to complete the mission. If you don't, it fails the mission. Then you just go and pick up the money from that one, and then you go to the third one, drive over to the third one, and you pick up the money there. You meet bank manager outside, but basically same thing. You take it back, and then you just drive the armored truck back to your car wash. This mission, again, as long as you don't crash, you should be able to finish it, but the reason people don't like it is because it just takes so long to finish this mission. It's a ridiculous amount of time to finish it. The next money laundering mission that we got is Steal the Rival's Cash. Very easy mission. You just go over to a parked Emperor, you get the charges from it, and then you drive over to a money laundering location, you kill a bunch of enemies, you go inside, you kill a bunch of enemies, and then what you do is you just open up 3 different washing machines, you get the cash out of them, tap X, get it out of here really quick, and that's it. Now all you basically have to do is just lose the cops. And a really quick way to get this mission done also is to start driving towards the car wash. As you're losing cops, drive right towards the car wash. It'll actually save a bunch of time, because by the time you get to the car wash, you'll lose the cops, and then that's it. That's it for that mission. Very easy one. Next mission that we have here is we have another mission that says Recover the Cash, but it's also a different type of mission. Make sure you listen to what Raph says. If Raph says you're getting a car from a container, then yes, that is this mission specifically. It's the easiest one. Now, he will send you a picture of what the container looks like, but it's not in that location. It's just the container, what it looks like, and the color of it. But the easiest way to find the location is just take a helicopter, because there will be a bunch of enemies that will stand in front of it, and just have your lock-ons on. And wherever you see it, just lock onto a bunch of enemies, and you see a bunch of cars parked out front, that is the location where you're looking for. And just kill all the enemies, and once you kill all the enemies, what you're going to do is just shoot the lock, take the car, and you just drive it to 2 other places. You drive it either to your salvage yard, or you drive it to House Workshop. Now, you should have a salvage yard specifically for this. And the salvage yard that I recommend this salvage yard. This is the one that's actually in the lower part of the city. This one is right across the street from the car wash. It's also the best location in the game. It's really close to the center of the city. This is the best salvage yard to have, because once you drive it over there, all you gotta do is just run across the street. That's it. It's literally right across the street and you're done. Easiest mission out of all of them. The last money laundering mission that we can get is towards the rival operation. Very easy one also. Now, you're going to have to pick up some Molotovs. And these Molotovs are always like a block or two away from the location, so just go and pick them up. They will be on your map. Pick them up. You'll have unlimited Molotovs during this mission. And what we do is we go over here. We go to the front of the rival operation. Kill all the guys outside. Once you kill all the guys outside, just start throwing Molotovs. It takes a few seconds for the cash to get burnt up, but once you throw the Molotov, it's done. So just start moving on to the next one. Throw all the Molotovs there. Wait by the door. Wait until the cash burns. Go inside the operation. Kill all these guys. Now, once you kill all these guys, don't start burning it until you go to the back room. Burn the one in the back room first. The reason you want to do that is because the second you start burning it, a bunch of enemies are actually going to start spawning in the back room. This will actually let you bypass that, and you don't have to deal with them. And then just make your way to the front. Start throwing it at each one. Go here. And go outside, and that's it. You will start losing health because of the smoke, but you have plenty of time to get outside. Now, once you're outside, what you're going to do is just chase down the van that's escaping and blow it up. I just use the compact grenade launcher here on my motorcycle, like doing that. Blow that van up, and we just drive away. That's it. That mission is done. Now that we've covered all the money laundering missions, I want to cover the legal work for the car wash. So once you get your heat up to 100% is when I recommend that you do the car wash mission. The top one is always the legal work, and this you can start from anywhere. Again, call up a RAF. I would recommend to be in the northern part of the city because most of the time the cars you pick up are in the north part of the city or they are in Chumash. So almost always in the north, that's where they are. And you just go over to the customer's house, you pick up the keys from a lockbox, and you just drive over to your car wash the car, bring it back over. You don't make more than $2,000. That's counting the tip. It's $1,000 per each job. Now, you will probably crash or dent the car along the way, but don't worry. It'll probably happen to you like here because you're driving really fast in these cars. If that happens, all you need to do is just take the car to the garage part of the car wash, and it'll just fix up the car. It is worth it because you can get up to close to an extra $1,000 in a tip, but here's what I will say is right after you wash the car and you're making your way to the customer's house, if you're making your way to the customer's house and then you damage the car a second time at that point, don't bother driving back. It's going to be a waste because you don't get that much money from this mission. The point of doing this mission is to bring down the heat. Don't worry about the cutscene. The customer will be a bit pissed, but that's it. All we're pretty much focused on is bringing down the heat. So again, if you damage the car before you get to the car wash, fix it. You get a little bit more, but if you damage it when you've already washed it and you're driving it back, don't bother going back and fixing it again. It's just going to be a waste of time. Just drop it off at the customer's house, and then that's it. Heat bar is down completely for that. These missions will bring down heat all the way down to 0, even if heat is 100%. And that's pretty much it for the car wash. Let's move on to Higgins Helitours now. Okay, so next we got Higgins Helitours, reference to the GTA 4 Higgins Helitours. Higgins Helitours has one ability in the business where you can spawn your personal helicopters and also your Pegasus helicopters. So any Pegasus helicopters you want to spawn without having to go for that long call, you can just get them right here. Similar to also any personal helicopters you want to spawn, you can just get them right here. Here I spawned a Savage, but let's move on to the money laundering missions themselves. So the first money laundering mission that we got is recover the cash case, and this is probably, I would say, the easiest mission out of all of them. Now, in recover the cash case, you fly out to the ocean. You're going to be getting into a helicopter, going out to the ocean. You can use a boat for this, but I highly recommend a helicopter. It just makes it so much easier. And you're going to be following these smugglers. Now, don't worry about spooking the smugglers. I spooked the smugglers, and I also tailed them without spooking them. There's literally no difference. You're going to have to kill all these guys. The only difference is when you spook them, they're going to shoot at you while they're driving the boat and go a little bit faster. So it's actually better to spook them. Now, once you spook them, just clear out all the smugglers, kill all of them, and you just get the case, and you get out of there. You fly right back to your Higgins Helitours, and that mission is done. Okay, next mission that we got is we got recover the helicopter, and I've seen this spawn in 3 different locations. I've seen this spawn in Sandy Shores. If it spawns in Sandy Shores, it's doable, but you might just want to find a new session because it's just so far away. It spawns in El Burro Heights, and it also spawns at the airport, specifically in Devon's Hangar. But basically, this mission is much easier than it's actually made out to be. What I would recommend to do is, instead of even fighting any cops, buy a Phantom Wedge. Because you can use a Phantom Wedge for this mission. You can also use the Phantom Wedge for Cayo Perico missions when you're getting the speedboat. It's also useful for that. So you spawn a Phantom Wedge and just basically back up the Phantom Wedge. If you don't have one, you can take one of the trucks here, but you have to fight for the cops. Here, we just back it up, hook on the trailer, and drive away. Now, you have 3 stars once you start driving away from the cops, but when you get, I would say, half a mile away from them, that 3 stars actually drops down to 2 stars, and then there's no more helicopters. Helicopters only pursue you at 3 stars. Start driving back towards the Higgins Helitour hangar. Start driving back there because that's where you're going to have to deliver this. And you can lose the cops along the way, and you'll save a bunch of time. If you don't lose the cops by the time you get to Higgins Helitour, don't worry about it. All you would need to do is just park the truck right in front like I'm doing right here, and just jump right out here into this kind of little sewer area. The cops shouldn't be able to follow you right here. They usually don't spawn back here, and just hang around the back of the hangar and you'll lose them. There won't be any helicopters again because it's 2 stars. And that's pretty much it for the mission. Just, use Phantom Wedge, drive towards the place, lose the cops along the way. If you don't, just hide behind the hangar until they're gone. And that's it for that mission. Next mission we got, this is probably the worst one, deliver the cargo. This one, it's not as bad as the armored truck one, the stockade one for the car wash, but it takes you, I would say, more than 5 minutes at least to complete this mission. But this mission, you don't have to be at Higgins Helitours. The Sea Sparrow will actually spawn wherever you are. It'll spawn close by, only a few blocks from wherever, so you can spawn it no matter where you are. Now, for this mission, we are taking the Sea Sparrow. We fly out to the ocean, and I've only had this mission spawn in this location, so I don't know if there's a yacht that's somewhere else, but only this place. If there is, tell me in the comments below, guys. But there's this yacht in Chumash, and what you do is you drop this cargo container down the helipad, and you land in the other helipad, and you meet with the buyer. Now, once you meet with the buyer, what happens is there's a police raid, and I recommend actually using the railgun. I think the railgun is the best weapon for this part. And there's going to be helicopters coming in and also boats. And make sure you blow these up before they even get near the yacht, because the helicopters will actually drop down SWAT and noose on top of the yacht, and you have to deal with them. And the boats, they will actually get out, jump in the water, and actually climb on the yacht. So just keep blowing those up, and after a couple of minutes, like 3 or 4 minutes of doing this, what will happen is the boss will actually want to get out of the area. You get back into Sea Sparrow, fly the boss away from the area. I would recommend staying over the ocean, because then all you have to deal with helicopters. The cars won't really see you, and then basically just drop the boss off, and that's it. It's just a little bit more of an annoying mission because you have to fight all the cops in it, but it's not that long of a mission at the same time too, but that's this mission here. Okay, and the last mission that we got here is recovering the cargo. Now, this mission nearly made me go insane, and I spent so many hours recording it on this mission alone. Now, the mission itself isn't bad. It's not hard, guys. But the reason it just took me so long to record is because this mission has so many different variations. I wanted to record all the different variations of it. Basically, you're in a Havoc, and you have to pick up 3 crates. And these crates spawn at 3 different locations: North Los Santos, South Los Santos, and West Los Santos. And in those 3 locations, the 3 crates itself can actually spawn in different areas. So let me show you where they could possibly spawn. First location, if you're in North Los Santos, you get this area. It could spawn right in this crane, right next to City Hall. The next location is it could be right underneath this crane, the crane that's actually facing right towards the highway. Let's get right up here. Get this one. And we got it. And now third one can spawn right on the street, across the street from the clothing store, and it can be right underneath this billboard here. I'm actually going to play the sound right now. Listen to this beeping. That beeping sound is important. It can help you locate the crate. So if you hear it, you know you're right next to a crate. Now I'm going to show you guys the other possible location that it could spawn in. If you didn't find the crates in those locations, there's one other location that a crate can spawn in. And that location is in between these construction buildings right here. If I missed any crates on this, I'm sorry, guys. I spent hours doing this mission so many times. I think I got all the crate locations. But right here, we got that one. That's all the locations, I think, for North Los Santos. Now, South Los Santos, this area right here, right above Terminal. We can have a crate that can spawn right on the highway next to the gun store, right underneath that billboard. Look for the red parachute. Next one we have is it could spawn right underneath the bridge. Check the bridge right here. Look for the red parachute. And we got that one. Good. Third one that we get, the third one, I believe this one is going to be right underneath that building. Yep, right underneath that grain elevator building that Trevor was on top of in the single player with the armored truck heist. So yeah, right here, underneath that grain tower building. It can spawn here sometimes. We got that. Another location it can spawn in is right here in this alleyway, right underneath these factories. So check those locations, that's where it could possibly spawn. Now we have West Los Santos. West Los Santos, you can have a crate that can spawn right underneath the crane right underneath the unfinished skyscraper. Second location, we can have one spawn on this crane right on top of the highway. So look at the crane, it's facing the highway. You can have it spawn right there. Third one, we can have another one on the crane. This one's not above the highway, but it's right next to it. Check the cranes, they're very important. Another one that can spawn is right on this billboard, right on the highway. And then another one, it can spawn right here, right underneath the highway. So I think I got them all. If I didn't get them all, I apologize, guys. I played this mission so many times, trying to have them all spawn. Now, once you get that, you're going to be delivering the crates. And you're going to have helicopters that are going to chase you. Don't even bother fighting them. Your helicopter is so much faster than it, they cannot catch up to you. And when you're making these 3 drops, you can actually drop them at full speed, but you have to fly low. If you're flying low, you can drop them at full speed without losing it, and then turn towards your next one. But once you pick up those 3 crates, that's it. You just deliver this. It's a fairly simple, fairly easy mission. The only thing that's kind of annoying is figuring out what the crates are at first, but once you play this mission enough, you'll memorize all the locations, and that'll be it. So I think I got them all. If I missed any crate locations, please tell me in the comments, guys, because we can always improve the guide, and, you know, that could also help people out here, but I think I got them all. But that is pretty much it for that. That mission right there, that is done. Now let's talk about the legal work. So, Helitours. So if we're trying to bring down heat, Helitours, again, if you spawn this mission just like the other one from the phone, the helicopters will actually spawn right next to you. So I had the Maverick actually spawn in this parking lot. We are going to basically be picking up 2 tourists, and the tourists actually call me a professional.
I'm so excited to learn about this place from a professional.
A lot of people have actually told me about that, and they told me that might actually be Rockstar referencing my GTA Geography versus match against Dark Viper AU, but I don't know if that's the thing. This might just be a coincidence, but I'd like to think that it's from that, because this is kind of like a Helitour thing where we're exploring locations. But anyways, what we're going to be doing here is we just fly over each of the 5 locations, and once you fly over them, you would press circle on the PlayStation. I think this is B on the Xbox, and basically goes into camera mode for a second. But what you can do is you can actually start moving the helicopter towards the next location. So once you go into camera mode here, just start going towards the next location. Just make sure you don't crash into something, but you don't have to stop. A lot of people stop over these landmarks, but you don't have to stop. You just have to press circle or B once, and then you can keep moving towards the next location. And try to hit these in a pattern, basically. Try to hit them in kind of like a circle. And remember where you started off from, because wherever you started off from, wherever you picked up the tourists from, that is the same location where you'll be dropping them off at. And that is pretty much it. That is the end of it. It's the easiest legal work out of all of them. I personally prefer it over the car wash missions. It's fairly quick with the helicopter, and you get paid also the best one for this, $5,000. Okay, so now we're moving on to Smoke on the Water. Let's talk about the different money laundering missions for Smoke on the Water. For Smoke on the Water, we have Torch the Weed Farms. I've noticed a lot of people hate this mission because you have to go so far out, but it's actually the easiest mission, I would say. And you can use a few different vehicles for this, but you don't actually need the gas can, and you don't need the Molotovs for this mission. You actually don't even need to get out of a vehicle. I personally like using the Raiju. So I take my Raiju, I fly over to that location, I go into hover mode, I take out the explosive gun, and I just start blasting. I keep killing all the enemies here, and I blow up all the cars. Blowing up all the cars, it automatically starts a fire. That fire spreads, and that's it. That farm is burned. We don't need to kill all the enemies. Fly over to the next one, go into hover mode, start blasting them with the explosive cannon, kill them, kill the enemies, and blow up the cars. As we're blowing up the cars, fire spreads again. Second location taken out. Now we go to the third location. Third location, exact same thing. Go into hover mode, fly around here, spray that explosive cannon, spreads a fire, fly away. That's it. Very easy mission. You don't need to actually get out, use a Molotov, or use a jerry can. Next mission we have here is collect the fertilizer. This is a fairly simple mission, but it has one horrible spawn location. Sometimes it will spawn in Paleto Bay. If you see the Paleto Bay location, don't bother. Just find a new session. It takes way too long. They're going to want you to drive 8 miles with that fertilizer truck. It's just not worth it. It's just such a waste of time. You'll go up with 5% heat by finding a new session, but it's worth just not doing that mission alone because it's how stupid and bad it is. But when you do get this mission, and you do get in the closer location, not the Paleto Bay one, all you basically gotta do is just go over the area. I like taking a helicopter like the Sparrow, go over the area, blow up all the Armenian gangsters, and then once we're done with that, we just get in the fertilizer truck, and then you just take the fertilizer truck and you drive it right back to Smoke on the Water. That's it. It's a very simple mission. Kill the enemies, take the truck, drive it back there, you're done. Next mission we have right here is recover the product, and most of the smoke on the water missions are fairly easy. If anything, the more annoying thing is just the drive that you have with that fertilizer truck. But on this mission, we are going to an area where there's a police raid, and they've set fire to a lot of our weed stash. Go over to the area, I just take a helicopter, fly over here, and I don't even bother really fighting most of the cops. I clear some of them out, but you're supposed to get in the RCV, and then just take out the fire, and it does give you a bar telling you how much of the fire you've already extinguished. Collect the 3 weed crates, and then just get right back in your helicopter, lose the cops, and then once you lose the cops, just go right back to smoke on the water. That's it. Fairly simple mission. Very easy. Just get out of there really quickly. Don't stay for too long, because cops are going to swarm the area, and you're done. The last money laundering mission here is we have exterminate the dealers. Very simple, very easy mission. Go over to an area where there's a gang. We kill the gangsters, clear out a bunch of them before you get in the car, because the second that you get in the car, they're all just going to light you up. It's a bit ridiculous. I got shot out of the car a few times, so just clear them out before you actually get in the car. Now, once you get the car, and this mission has a few variations. Here we're impersonating Grove Street. There's another one where you impersonate the Vagos, and there's another one where you impersonate the Ballas. But it's basically the exact same thing. You take this car, and you do drive-bys on the dealers. And it's very easy. Just get a headshot. Instant kill. You can just drive right out of there like this. Kill our first dealer. Pull up on the next one. Kill our second dealer. And then right here, we go and we get rid of our third dealer. And then once we're done with that, what we're going to be doing is drive the vehicle to a secluded area. There should be one nearby. You get a few choices. And we just destroy the vehicle and just leave the area. That's it. That's the final money laundering mission done. We also have these new collectibles through Smoke on the Water, and these are weed pickups, and when you pick up the first one, it actually appears as a daily collectible in your interactive menu, and there's 10 at different locations that spawn every single in-game day. Each one that you pick up is $7,500, so for 10 you'll get $75,000, plus you get a $25,000 bonus, and you also unlock a T for completing it the first time. If you want to know the locations of each one every time, I would check out gtaweb.eu. I will actually link them down below. They're a very helpful website that shows you a lot of the different locations, not just for the weed pickups, for any other pickup that you might need in GTA Online. They have a really great site. Make sure to check them out. They'll be down in the description below. And lastly here, we have the legal work, the weed delivery. Now, for Smoke on the Water, it's an easy one, but it's the most time-consuming. Now, you get a text message from Raph, and Raph basically tells you that if you place this weed at these specific locations, you'll get a little bit of a tip, an extra bonus. And you might as well do this, you get some extra money while doing it. So I guess they kind of replaced post-op with this, but, I still prefer this way over post-op. At least this van's a lot faster. But anyways, take a look at this here. This is our first location. And if you can't tell the location that you're in, you can press down on the D-pad, and when you zoom in on the map for a second, it'll actually tell you in the right side the street that you're on and also the neighborhood. Additionally, you can actually open up your map and you can zoom in on the location that you're in. So here it says Vespucci Canals Invention CT. And now we just look at the text message from Raph. We see what does he say here specifically. He says for Vespucci Canals, purple sherbet. And now we just decide on which one we put down here. Purple sherbet. Okay, let's move on to our second drop here now. Second drop here, we are in Chamberlain Hills, and Chamberlain Hills wants Red Harvest. We put that one down. It's done. Now we move on to our third location. Third location, we are in Rancho. And for Rancho, they want Blueberry Cheesecake. Put that one down. Move on to our fourth location. Fourth location, we are in El Burro Heights. And what is for El Burro Heights? It is Red Harvest. Put that one down. Move on to our final location. At our final location, we are in Mirror Park, and that's Purple Sherbet. We place that. We get that bonus there. $3,380. Reduced all the heat down. So that right there, that is a Smoke on the Water. And I also wanted to cover this really quickly, the boost in the businesses. Now, I made a whole detailed video on this a couple days ago, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. I'll have that video linked at the end if you want to check out the whole basically breakdown on these businesses. But here's what happened. Counterfeit Cash, Weed Farm, and also Hangar had gotten the boost because of these businesses. Car Wash, if you own that and you also own the Counterfeit Cash, it gives you a 35% increase. Weed Farm, if you own that, if you own Smoke on the Water and Weed Farm, it gives your Weed Farm a 35% increase. If you own Higgins Helitours, it gives your Hangar crates a 10% increase. Right here, you see the before and after. So Weed used to be selling for $315,000. Now it sells for $425,280. Counterfeit Cash used to sell for $367,500. Now it sells for $496,140. Also here, I got the narcotics crates, narcotics, chemical, medical. Those are the most valued ones for the Hangar, and you should only do those three. And right there, you see, it used to be $2,550,000. Now it sells for $2,805,000. If you want basically a whole breakdown of this and just me showing also the extra amounts that you can get for selling in a full lobby, I have these right here for the Weed Farm and also for Counterfeit Cash. If you guys want to screenshot these, as well as the Hangar, I have some stats written if you sell these in populated lobbies, the bonus that you can get. But I explained all of that in my video, so again, I don't want to cover the exact same thing 2 times, but check out my video basically breaking down the amounts that you can get from these from the Weed Farm, Counterfeit Cash, and Hangar with that new bonus. 35% on Weed Farm and Counterfeit Cash, 10% increase on Hangar. And lastly here, I want to talk about Quickie Pharms a little bit. I thought that I would add it to this video. So Quickie Pharms is a new business that was added where you're delivering medical supplies. This is completely different than a lot of the other money fronts businesses. It's kind of weird. Once you go into Quickie Pharms, you basically get a briefcase full of medical supplies, and you were actually driving the new Uber-mocked GTS, and you were just driving to each location. And you don't get attacked, there aren't any enemies or cops on this, but it's such a long drive. Sometimes I've had to drive over 8 miles from Paleto Bay and then back. And if you beat the timer, you do get, between $5,000 to $7,000 on each delivery, and you get over $35,000. I got like $37,500 on here. When you complete it, though, you do unlock a trade price for the new Uber Mach GTS. The trade price goes down to $1,629,000 from over $2,100,000, I think it was beforehand. But it's worth it just doing it for that specific trade price for that vehicle. It is a beautiful, nice car. But that's about it. That is it for the Money Fronts DLC, guys. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this guide. I'm sorry this guide took me a couple days. I don't like to rush my guides. I like to do all the missions, do all the businesses, focus on everything, make sure that I got all my information right. So thank you guys for watching. If you found this video helpful, please do drop a like, share it with your friends. It helps me out a lot. And if you're new to my channel and enjoy my content, please do subscribe to me. It helps me to make more content like this. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.